The Wisconsin Department of Corrections is under new leadership as an investigation at a prison for juvenile offenders grows. DOC Secretary Ed Wall stepped aside a little over a week ago. That came as the FBI said it was taking over the investigation into allegations of abuse at the Lincoln Hills School in Irma. Two school leaders also resigned in recent weeks. Many young offenders from Milwaukee are housed at Lincoln Hills, and we're talking more about the situation there now with Democratic State Representative David Bowen of Milwaukee. Representative, it's good to have you back on the program.
Absolutely. Thank you, Mike, for inviting me.
Let's try and put some perspective on this. On a scale of 1 to 10, with 10 being the most serious, how serious is the situation at Lincoln Hills?
It's beyond a 10 at this point, and because it's so serious, the FBI is currently investigating.
What is it about you personally that concerns you as a representative from Milwaukee, for instance?
Well, let me give you some insight. There are about 170 young people from Milwaukee. That makes up more than 60% of the juveniles that are at Lincoln Hills. And what concerns me is that we have parents, we have family members, we have concerned citizens in Milwaukee that are looking at this situation, and they aren't seeing any transparency. They aren't seeing any cooperation from the governor's administration to come out and share what's actually going on. And, you know, to have signs of a cover-up is not good for public trust.
You think there are signs of a cover-up there?
Absolutely. I mean, if you look at the media and the articles that have been coming out continuously, there have been signs that records have been suppressed, that employees have been suppressed from sharing information, that open records requests that were given to the governor's administration left out certain pieces, especially from the biggest piece that we heard from a chief judge in Racine, giving the governor's administration insight. And, you know, one of my colleagues, Fred Kessler, who's a judge as well and has served in that capacity, when judges send letters to the governor, they usually are answered and taken pretty seriously. To think that this was not shared with the governor at all since 2012 is very troubling.
What would you like to see happen now? We mentioned that the head of the Department of Corrections, Ed Wall, has stepped aside. There have been some resignations or dismissals of staff members up there. What happens now?
One of the things that I've called on the governor to do is to come to Milwaukee. He's saying, I'm going to go on a listening tour. I'm saying you should have that listening session in Milwaukee so that we can hear from your administration directly about what's going on in Lincoln Hills. The only information that's being shared currently is from the media, and that's not a good source or way to engage the community that's very concerned about the allegations of child abuse and seeing that so many juveniles are having traumatic experiences from these incidents, and you know, it doesn't help them get around the corner to start productive lives. We're actually making things worse.
What happens, what should happen to these juveniles in your opinion? There are people on, for example, the Milwaukee County Board who are saying, let's bring some of these juveniles back to the Milwaukee area where they're closer to family, where they're closer to people they know. Do you favor that?
Absolutely. The state made a conscious decision to close facilities at the southern end of the state, includes Ethan Allen, and the girls' facility as well in the southern end of the state, and to move all those young people and the services up north, right, to Irma, Wisconsin at the Lincoln Hills facility. It has not been good. We've seen from reports of just the experience of young people not having diverse staff, having culturally competent staff, and having, you know, so many the staff being understaffed to staff the facility as well. It's been a recipe for trouble, and it hasn't provided really good outcomes. So it's time to really change the discussion to see what can we do to provide a competent, efficient staffing resource that's more closer to families and the support system for those young people so they can turn their lives around.
Representative David Bowen, the Democrat from Milwaukee, we appreciate your time. Thanks very much for being with us.
Absolutely. Thank you so much.
Next on Up Front, bumpy roads and still no fix.